The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
And a good Friday morning to everybody. Welcome to the show. Senior producer Ryan Nicholson is in charge of things this morning. Guarantee Bank Hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. We're in the Jarrett Construction Studios, right on time, right on budget. Visit jarrett-construction.com. License number WV030133. Phone calls to the show. Service of Guarantee Bank 1320 Canal Boulevard East. Guarantee Bank, your community, your bank, your story. Texting services provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Taylor on Virginia Street. The end of bolt sale continues through the 29th of the month. Take up to 50% off select jackets and suits, and Tony's Black Label make custom garments with a variety of different fabrics. Tony has custom shirts from actual tailors. You can buy 3, get 1 free, or buy 4 and get 2 free, including the Thomas Mason fabrics, and ask about their Samuelson end of bolt sale too. Take as much as 25 to 30% off. Check out bestmastertailor.com or Tony's Facebook page for more information. Friday edition of the show. Metro News meteorologist Bryan Hughes says, we thought we were in the clear, but some areas, he says, could get a pop-up shower or two today. Highs going to be in the low 80s for our flood recovery efforts that are going on as we speak on our parking lot at 1111 Virginia Street East in Charleston. More on that coming up. Bryan says showers, if we get them, should taper off tonight for Live on the Levee. Lows are going to be in the upper 60s. Beautiful day tomorrow, sun and in the mid 80s. Slight chance of showers and thunderstorms on Sunday. Then the humidity returns as we head into next week. Download the Metro News television app. Follow along on social media for the best team in weather with Bryan Hughes and his folks. As I said earlier, our flood donation drop is going on now as we speak on our parking lot, 1111 Virginia Street East, Charleston. This is one of those things, all of our stations are out there: KWS, V100, CHS, The Beat, KAZ, The Mountain, and whomever we can get off the lot to come in here and join us will join us to talk about it a little bit later on. We're looking for, we can take cash donations. We got folks from the Red Cross here. If you're going to write us a check, just American Red Cross, and in the memo line, you just simply put West Virginia Flood Relief. Cleaning supplies. We're looking for pet food. We're looking for non-perishable items, all that stuff. And I'll go over the entire list for you a little bit later on. Now, we don't have Jim Strawn today as we normally do to talk about Live on the Levee. Live on the Levee is still going on, but I think, and Strawn will be there tonight, but he's actually on a plane, I think, as we speak. But we'll talk about that coming up. Plus, Kanawha County Commission President Ben Salango is going to stop by. The county commission met last night. Commissioner Salango made a motion to appoint Jared Page to the seat that had been held by Lance Wheeler, and Commissioner Tennant did not second the motion, so it died for lack of a second. So the strike process goes into effect. We'll talk about that with Ben Salango coming up a little bit later on the show. And, of course, your calls and texts are always welcome. Guarantee Bank Hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. Want to welcome in now, though, as we do every Friday. Let's welcome in our good friend Angie Gillenwater from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association with this week's Adopt Me, Please Pet of the Week, brought to you by Almost Heaven Interiors. Angie, good morning and happy Friday.
Good morning, and thank goodness it's Friday.
Indeed it is. All right, as always, we got our pets picture posted at Dave Allen Radio and the WCHS Network Facebook pages, also Dave Allen on X. Tell us about Malcolm.
So Malcolm originally came to KCHA as a stray. He was very sick, and it turns out that he had parvo. He has beat parvo. He is now available for adoption and stronger than ever. He's great with other dogs. He loves to go to play groups and play. Obviously, he's a 3-month-old puppy, so he's going to have a zest for life that puppies have. Yeah. He's great with kids, and I'm sure he would be no problem to introduce to cats. One thing about Malcolm, definitely check out his picture. He is so unique looking. He has blue freckles all over his face and then red freckles all over the rest of his body. So very interesting looking dog.
When you sent me that picture last night and I was taking a look at it, I thought, well, you're right. Unique is a interesting way to describe young Malcolm. I mean, what kind of dog is he? I mean, do you have any idea? And is the freckling very prevalent in dogs? Because I haven't seen a lot of that.
So the freckling happens in certain breeds. Certain hounds can have that. Certain like heeler cattle dog mixes can have that, as well as some pointers can also have the freckling pattern. So I would guess that he is probably a heeler mix just by the way that coat pattern looks. But mixed with what is a nice big question mark.
Well, he is a great looking dog. I mean, he really, really is. And we'll talk about him a little bit later on. His name is Malcolm. And again, his picture is posted on my social media pages. I want to talk about because we've had several, we always have good stories from the shelter, Angie, but we always have some that are a little sad too. It's been a rough week at the shelter.
Yeah, it absolutely has. So we have been hit back to back with animals coming in. We've seen an uptick in illness of animals that are coming in, which we are happy to be able to help, extremely happy to be able to offer a space and safe space for these animals. But with that comes medicine, it comes food, comes our staff that have to spend, 8 to 10 hours a day taking care of these animals. So right now we are definitely in the need of donations, or if you are able to foster and or adopt some of these cases that we are taking on, that's also something that can help greatly. But it has definitely been a very busy and rough week to be at KCHA.
Now, did we have, and I saw this just in passing, I apologize, I don't have all the details in front of me, but did we have another case where there were some kitties abandoned somewhere that you guys came in possession of?
Yesterday, while our staff were in the building, which is kind of like the frustrating part, if you will, our staff were there. 20 cats were left in our parking lot while our staff members were running play groups with the adult dogs and getting things started for the morning. So 20 cats were just left in the parking lot. If you are in a situation like that, especially if we are in the building, please come talk to us. If we can't take the animals right away, we can at least give you supplies to care for them. But yeah, leaving the animals in a parking lot, we don't have 100% history on where they're from, what medicines and vaccines they've had, who gets along with who, right. Anything like that. So that's the difficult part about it. And again, we will offer resources if it's a matter of, we can't take them right now, but here's how we can help in the meantime. I
mean, we appreciate people wanting to do the right thing, but I mean, come on. If you're there and it's during business hours, knock on the door.
Yeah,
don't just drop them off. Knock on the door. No questions asked. I mean, you may ask some questions about like, where did they come from? Do you know if they've been vaccinated? But, I'm sorry. I got a real issue with that. I'm sorry. Especially if you're there.
Yeah, that's the tough part is, again, we were in the building. So, come in, talk to us. Don't be afraid to talk to us. We promise to handle things gently. And again, I do appreciate and have respect for, trying to get your animals help, but leaving them in the parking lot I've seen it time and time again where animals break out of the carriers that they're in. And then now they're on a busy road or they're in the woods exposed to a lot of animals. I've seen animals that, people have hid on the property and we haven't gotten to them in a timely manner. Like we haven't been able to see them or find them. And yesterday was a really hot day. So if you're hiding them, then they're exposed to the elements. It's just a lot of things can happen when people do that.
All right. So I had a text here for you that said that a litter of kittens dumped out on the Nitro St. Albans Bridge on Wednesday. Were they not brought to the shelter?
I don't recall that, but what I can do is double check anything that came in on Wednesday and, see if they made it or not, but I don't recall that on Wednesday.
All right. Tell us about the kitty. You have one posted on your social media that had to have both of her eyes removed.
So that is something that falls under the category of we've had a lot of very serious illnesses come into the building recently. And do you know the name of the one in specific that you're talking about? That has happened a lot.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me right now, but there was posted this week. There was a picture of a kitten that had to have its eyes removed. It had to have its eyes removed. It's on your all's Facebook page. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to catch you by surprise on that, but it's posted on the Facebook page. Maybe we can get an update on that particular kitten next week.
Yeah, if it's the one I'm thinking about, that would be a result of a severe upper respiratory infection where the eyes, they are not treated in time, which, depending on how fast and how quickly they get to us, they will sometimes crust shut. Harper. Is, yep, that's exactly the one.
One of 125 animals at the shelter receiving various kinds of medical treatment, and Harper is the one, and and the poor thing had to have its eyes removed. But hopefully, could make someone a good pet.
Absolutely. Yep. Having a blind animal is, it's not much different than having one that can see. There are a couple things you have to do. So she will absolutely make a wonderful pet for somebody out there. Yeah.
You guys out and about anywhere this weekend?
We're staying home this weekend. We're wrapping up the Empty the Shelters adoption special, so we're going to be doing that at KCHA.
Yeah, and I don't know whether you brought that up or not, but Malcolm, our dog this week, our pet of the week, is part of that of the Empty the Shelter thing with Bissell, so he's only $5, right?
Yep, any kennel dog, which is what Malcolm falls under, is going to be $5 to adopt. But some very generous, kind soul came in and sponsored the next 10 adult dogs that get adopted, so you don't even have to pay anything for anyone.
There you go. I shared that on my personal page, because I always do, and a friend of mine from Logan texted, but actually posted on my post on my personal page and said that he bet it was a sibling of an animal that he and his family just adopted. He said, we just adopted one that looked like that from the shelter like a week or two ago, and he said, I bet that's a sibling. I don't know that for a fact, but they looked a lot alike.
They probably are.
All right. Kegs for Canines. Tell us about that.
Kegs for Canines, the early bird tickets are live, so get those while you can. They will not last forever. It is coming up at the end of August at the Red Carpet Lounge. We're very excited for that. Again, my favorite event that we do, you get to drink beer and pet dogs.
What more could you want? Angie, I appreciate you being here. We'll talk again next week. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Sounds great. Have a good weekend.
Angie Gillenwater, Kanawha Charleston Humane Association with this week's Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week. Picture posted Dave Allen Radio on Facebook at the WCHS Network Facebook page, and also at Dave A70 or Dave Allen on X. His name is Malcolm. He is 3 months old. He's a parvo survivor, but he's doing fine now. Very interesting looking dog if you go over and look at the picture, because he's got little blue specks in him and a little freckling going on. Just a beautiful dog. She said probably get some healer in him. He appears to be good with other dogs and kids, and based on his personality, which you always want to be careful, of course, Angie says he's probably going to be good with cats as well. And he's only $5 through the 26th, thanks to the folks at the Bissell Foundation. But again, an anonymous soul has come out of the woodwork and said, we're going to sponsor the next ones in that, like the next, I think she said 10 or so. So, going up to the shelter and, get yourself a pet and get Malcolm. And join me every Friday morning at 9:06 for the Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week from the Humane Association, brought to you by Almost Heaven Interiors. Family owned, proudly serving the community for over 50 years, specializing in custom blinds, shades, shutters, upholstery, and beautifully crafted sewn goods, homes to hospitals, classrooms to commercial spaces. They can do it all. They're located at 516 D Street in South Charleston. It's 921, Guarantee Bank Hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor, text 304-935-5008. Kanawha County Commission President Ben Salango coming up a little bit later on in the show. As we speak, out in our lot, 1111 Virginia Street, East Charleston, we are collecting items for the flood victims in North Central West Virginia. All of our stations are out there, and I'll know who I'm going to put on the air when I see that door open here in a couple of moments. Hopefully it'll be somebody. So come back and join us. We'll be back in just moments here on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for supporting local small business.
You may think speeding a little isn't really speeding, but even a few miles over the limit has consequences. First, there's the fine. Your first offense could cost you $100 plus court costs. And you'll pay a lot more if it's your second or third offense. Eventually, you can lose your license or even go to jail. And those are minor consequences. Speeding causes 10,000 deaths each year. So next time you think a few miles over isn't a big deal, think again. This message is brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Hey, this is Bobby Spry, and last year we purchased a new HVAC system from West Virginia Heating and Cooling. During the inspection of our old unit, their technician discovered a crack in the heat exchanger that was slowly leaking carbon monoxide into our home. From that moment on, we knew we chose the best technicians and the best service. Every technician is drug tested and background checked, giving our family peace of mind. When it comes to protecting your home and family, trust the best. West Virginia Heating and Cooling.
Spring brings new ideas, but turning those ideas into reality can be overwhelming. The talented design team at Nitro Carpet and Design Center is here to take the guesswork out of your next project. From matching the perfect tile to your new kitchen cabinets to finding the hardwood or luxury vinyl that ties your home together, we provide the expert guidance to create your perfect look. Come and get inspired today at 201 New Gulf Mountain Road in Cross Lanes. Nitro Carpet and Design Center. Your vision, our expertise.
Welcome back to the show. It's 9:24. Senior producer Ryan Nicholson is in charge of things this morning. Guarantee Bank hotline 304-345-5858. Tony V. Taylor text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Line brought to you by the Charleston Dirty Birds. The Birds in Gastonia continue their series over the weekend at Go-Mart Ballpark. Going to be a great weekend series. Now tonight, let's bring your dogs out for a bark in the park. Check this out. Tomorrow night, it is Christmas in July. Wear your favorite ugly Christmas sweater or holiday shirt and festive gear. They'll be doing fireworks after the game, and you can join them on Sunday for a 12:34 first pitch to wrap up the homestand against Gastonia. Check out dirtybirdsbaseball.com. Kanawha County Commission President Ben Salango coming up a little bit later on. Look who is here. It is Metro News meteorologist Bryan Hughes. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great this morning. How are you doing?
I am doing fine. I did want to mention that you are not Jim Strawn, nor do you play Jim Strawn on the radio.
No.
But Jim Strawn is actually on a flight back to Charleston for Live on the Levee tonight. He will be there tonight. Live on the Levee, of course, presented by Moses Auto Group. Tonight it's Alan Stone along with Sasha Collette and the Magnolias. I actually emceed a show several years ago in southern West Virginia with Sasha Collette and the Magnolias. They're absolutely fantastic. 6:30 tonight. How's the weather? Since you're in here, I'm going to utilize your skills. How's the weather looking?
Weather's going to be actually pretty good. We've got a chance for just a couple of spotty showers trying to bubble up today, but that's not going to. First of all, it's not going to be severe, and secondly, we're not going to have any flooding with that. So the weather's actually going to be pretty nice for this afternoon for Live on the Levee into the evening hours. And listen, your Saturday's going to be nice as well. Sunday, pretty decent. Next week, we do have some thunderstorms that'll start to bubble up. We'll have a few on Monday, probably a few more on Tuesday, though.
All you got to do is wind him up and say weather, and there he goes.
Bam.
Steve Animal here, 98.7 The Mountain Wild, a wonderful classic rock. How you doing, man?
Bam. I'm here.
You're here. All right,
I
now.
am.
As we speak, several of our folks are out on the lot, 1111 Virginia Street East in Charleston, collecting donations through the Red Cross. We're all going to be out there, all of our stations.
A lot of stuff already.
I know. I mean, I went out there right before the show, and we started this thing at 8 o'clock, and I want to give a big shout-out to the West Virginia Association of Fairs and Festivals, because they're out there as well. Yesterday, when we were talking about it on the air, we had people saying, who do I make a check to? Big shout out to Harvey Payton Law Firm, who kind of got it started. Several others have come forward as well. And I don't know whether they actually want to be, announced or not, so I won't say the rest of them without their permission. But bottom line is West Virginia coming through, Steve, and doing what West Virginians do, and that's helping out.
Absolutely. I was out there a little while ago, too, and it's amazing the support. I actually got some pictures from my wife. She sent me the buy site. We go up there. She actually graduated from Buchanan High.
Oh, wow.
So we've been up for the Strawberry Festival, and it's amazing. Unfortunately, like the Bicentennial Hotel, it's got water right up
all
to
the way up into it.
Yeah. And I love that. The lounge, the 88, it's a great place to hang out. And so those folks definitely need our help, and we can do some good for the neighborhood. So
you know what? Some of the people who've already been donating have been previous flood victims themselves, and that's what. and it's Kathy Hess, who is.
I love Kathy.
I love Kathy, Secretary Warner's right-hand lady.
For both Secretary Warners.
Yes, exactly.
The old one and
the new one. Yeah. She said, she told a story about her when she was younger and her son was 10, and that called her daddy and said, what are we going to do? And he goes, you got to go up on the hill and unstop the culvert, or it's going to take everything, wash it all away. We won't have nothing. And she went up there and she did it. And she talked about being in flood victims.
I mean, when you see this on national news across the country, I've had people reaching out to me, checking, hey, were you affected by this? I said, fortunately not. However, unfortunately, thousands of people have been. So
as we speak, we've got it on News Nation here in the studio, and this is video from yesterday of Governor Morrissey of course, yesterday, Bryan, as you well know, we got confirmation that the 2 people had perished. Initially, the reports is that we didn't know of anybody that died in this, but there's still several
people unaccounted
for. So we just don't know. And I do want to mention programming. Jeff Jenkins is actually heading up there now, and we're going to be checking in with Jeff later today on Talkline, the Wilson Meadow as well, but also on Metro News Midday as well. All right, so what are we looking for here? Here's what we need: bottled water and Gatorade, non-perishable, ready-to-eat foods, toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, Clorox wipes, extension cords and fans, air mattresses, trash bags, the regular ones or the heavy duty are even better, mops, buckets and brooms, shovels, rakes, anything that you can clean up with, work gloves, rubber boots, and N95 masks. And those masks, Bryan, as you know, they say meteorologists, you're kind of like scientists, aren't you?
Yeah,
pretty much
sometimes.
Something like that. All right, explain why those masks are important.
Because right now, as you've got all that silt that's in these houses, all this what's mud will dry up, and then it is completely it's contaminated. And so once that becomes airborne, and once it dries up, it becomes dust. You're breathing in contamination. Significant amounts of it.
And last year, I know that when we had some of the flooding that was going on in various places last year, there were a lot of people that got sick from the cleanup.
Will get
and tetanus. Angie Settle from Health Right was on this show on Metro News Midday with us yesterday, talking about the need for tetanus shots and things like that.
Well, and you need one every 5 years to make sure you're good to go. And you almost need a preventative tetanus shot. You can get one afterwards, but it's better to have preventative because the sickness is going to be incredible.
Especially if you're eating around me.
Yeah, indeed.
But the one thing, though, like when you see the floodwaters, it's brown. It's brown for a reason. So, keep that in mind. That's, that water is dirty.
And the thing is, even though we have some of the cleanest rivers around the region, would you surprise some people like there's not a clean river? No, we have some very clean rivers up in these parts. But when it floods, it takes everything with it. It all gets mixed together. There's oil, diesel, there's gasoline, there's bleach,
it goes into
and
the
it's all
sewage system,
of it.
and it rises and it gets into the water. So
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, and we have a run-in now from Dale Cooper. How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. I was a little late because we got 3 straight huge drop-offs just as I was coming in. So we had a bunch of folks coming by that heard you on the radio, and also you, I believe, on the radio.
Wait a minute, this is on the radio?
Oh, hey, what do you know, right? But they literally had heard about it right before the show started, went and grabbed some stuff and dropped by here just a little bit ago. We had a whole truck full of boxed up supplies, pre-boxed up supplies. We just got maybe, 50 mops and brooms that somebody bought in bulk and dropped off. Huge donations coming from people. And what do we expect from our community, right?
Best listeners in the world.
There's no question. No question.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the folks at Triton Triton Roofing are going to be helping us out to get those items there.
And Triton Roofing has been on site up there in Buchanan, and they were they've been in the midst of things. They actually, unfortunately, the 2 people that that did perish, they were there as they were being cut out of the car, essentially. And so they've been there firsthand already and have seen the literally the death and destruction. And they're changed people after this. But they want to help. That's why they're here. They're happy to help out, and they're going to be driving everything up along with the Red Cross. We're working to make this happen. But bleach, cleaning supplies, everything you can possibly do, rubber gloves, things of that nature. We need all of that.
Pet food and pet supplies. On Friday, we do our segment, or Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week, and I want to make sure people realize that they need pet food.
And that's something else we just got a bunch of. We got maybe 6 bags of dog food and 6 pallets of cat food. So we got quite a bit of it out there. And I'm not sure if you guys addressed this or not, but we did have a few folks asking questions about how deployment was going to work, how the supplies were going to get there and stuff. We're working with locals in the community up there. So we're going to be delivering straight to folks that are working with the locals to get these supplies distributed. So don't worry. It's not going through several different steps before it gets there. It's basically going to leave straight from here, and we're going to take it to the folks that need it.
And they've got the staging area set up now. They got it yesterday, I think, Bryan, at West Virginia Wesleyan. So that's where things are going to go to.
And that's the thing. Wesleyan is making sure that everything's divvied up and put in the proper spots. I mean, you have everything from feminine hygiene products that are needed to baby formula to diapers. I mean, all the basic stuff. If there is any type of clothing, socks are very important.
New
brand new socks.
Yeah.
We don't need anything used. But brand new socks are important because, first of all, when you're in that water and it's getting into your shoes and stuff, so you got
to change clothes several times.
Clothes all the time. So, and that's why cash is important, because what happens is you have the Red Cross and the different organizations that know these folks need clothing. We're going to go get them taken care of. They need stuff that fits, that's proper. They don't need used stuff, and that's why the cash helps out.
And you can write checks if you want to do that to the American Red Cross and just put in that memo line. You can put in West Virginia Flood Relief. If you want to give us the green stuff out here too, I mean, that's perfectly,
we'll take it all.
That's perfectly fine. Flashlights and batteries too. That's something I don't think that we mentioned earlier, because there's still a lot of people up there that don't have power.
And won't have power for a long time.
Somebody also brought several bags of disposable rags. That's the first time I'd seen it. And that's a really good one too, because they're a little bit more robust than the paper towels. You can reuse them, bring them out, and then you can throw them away afterwards. Those are very useful as well.
And I will say, we don't, encourage you to go to any particular store, but I will say that last night, my wife and I went out to dinner, and we were out at Valley Park last night for the night market out there, and we stopped by in our neighborhood. We have one of the Dollar General grocery store type places, the DG Marketplace. They have an aisle of nothing but things that are $1, and there were a lot of cleaning supplies in those right there. Things like the smaller containers of bleach. Smaller containers will make bigger containers of bleach. So if you want to hit up that place, you want to hit up Aldi, Big Lots, Target, we don't care where you go, just go.
Right. Well, and Dawn is incredibly important because it first of all, it cuts through grease, and oil and everything else, so that helps significantly. And mind you, there are a number of animals that also need to be cleaned off as well, and they're using Dawn for some of them as well. So
I saw a picture. A friend of mine lives up there, and he sent me a picture last night of this. You just can't imagine what it is until you. Amanda and I have interviewed several people over the last couple of days, but one of my buddies actually lives in Buchanan, and not that any one item is more important than anything else, but I'm a car guy, and this guy had a collection of Jaguars, and they weren't all expensive. I mean, a lot of them were cars he was working on, all just laid out there on the street last night in Buchanan. I mean, it's sad.
The Kanawha County Sheriff's Department sent an entire team up there to help out the Upshur County Sheriff's Department, and they've been working there. And one of my best friends is on that team, and he said, "You can't imagine the destruction." He said in town the water came up and it's a mess. He said the water's gone back down. He said, but out in the county, things are gone. He said houses are gone, roads are gone, bridges are gone. He said it's really,
and it wasn't
bad.
really until yesterday, Bryan and guys, that they could get into some of those areas. So you don't know how gone it is until you get up there, because we're talking about, I mean, Buchanan is a nice little West Virginia city, but a lot of these rural areas that are outside of town, you couldn't even access. So you don't even know what the damage is until you get in there.
I just think back to 2016, and my mom lives in Beaumont, so I saw a lot of the destruction out there. We broadcast from out there as well at the FEMA location in Clendenin, but also my mom lives in Beaumont, so I was out there a lot. And even today, but especially up until maybe a year or two ago, when you were driving out there, you could see the water line still on the surviving structures are out there, and it was feet above the ground. And just imagine what all those communities had to go through to get all of that water out, to get these structures relivable again. And it took some of those places years and years and years to get to that point. And I just feel for the people in these communities that's starting at ground zero on this. It's a long journey, and they need our help.
We had a text just said a reminder of what happened after the 2016 flood. Do we know if there will be anyone up there this weekend cooking for these people? I know that people came together and made hot dogs and hamburgers back then. I can tell you that every Friday on midday we do a lunchbox segment, and that's what we are going to do. We are going to feature one of those places that is cooking for people. It may be somebody's grandma in her backyard. We don't care. They don't have to have a license, as far as we're concerned, long as they're feeding people.
Absolutely, and I don't think people understand the been in a flood before years and years ago, and the water comes up quickly, and suddenly you're thinking, it's like, oh, what? Your mind is not really thinking that what's going on, and suddenly you've got a foot of water, and then suddenly there's 2 feet of water, and you're seeing all your stuff. Floating. Well, I need to get that. It's floating. I need to get out. You don't know where to go.
And that's one of the great things in talking with Angie Settle of Health Right yesterday, because she brought up a very good point. When with floodwaters come up, people get their kids, they get maybe a photo album or 2, their Bible, they get their pets, but they don't think about the medication. And there are some people that having that daily medication is their lifeblood, literally. And so the folks at Health Right here in Charleston are working with people up there, similar agencies up there, to try to get much needed medication. We're talking about anti-seizure medications. We're talking about heart medications that people have to survive day to day. So contact the folks at Health Right here in Charleston if you'd like to, because they could probably take donations.
They could take donations as well.
Well. All right, we're out on our parking lot. We will be throughout the day till 6 o'clock tonight, and I just grabbed a few bodies, brought you guys in here. You're the greatest listeners in the world. You've always come through with us no matter what we've asked. We really need you guys to help this time, and we don't care if you bring us a gallon of bleach, we'll take it. If you bring us a pallet of bleach, we'll take it.
We literally had a guy right before I came in he walked down the street, he brought 1 box of contractor bags. Great. We need them. That's perfect.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever it takes. Even if you're in your car and you can't come back later, you have some cash in the cash tray, I call mine.
You have a cash tray? I have a coin tray.
Yeah, I was going to say, mine's pennies, man.
On
the wrong end of the industry.
The New World disorder. It's like I'm picking those up and using them daily. But I turned my ashtray into the car years ago into a cash tray. So mostly change.
Way to go, Steve.
Whatever it takes.
Just tell everybody you have money in your car.
I know.
That's good.
Yeah. It's a 19. What do you drive, Dave?
Never mind. I used to have $6,000 in the car, money I won at the casino, and I finally got rid of that.
All right, Bryan Hughes, appreciate you coming in. Dale Cooper as well, and Steve Hannibal, 98.7 Mountain Wild, a wonderful classic rock. Appreciate you guys being in here. There's Attorney Ben Salango's coming in here for the next segment. Actually, he's coming in as County Commissioner Ben Salango. So
don't let anybody in here. What the heck?
Weird.
Good to see you.
All right, guys, we appreciate it. All right, we'll get back out on the lot. Thanks a lot. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants, helping to identify environmental concerns, asbestos, lead, mold, and indoor quality issues of all types. Inspections, testing, accredited lab services you can trust. Check out pinnaclecorp.net, helping you understand your environment, because what you don't know can't hurt you. Back with County Commissioner Ben Salango when we come back on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
The Dave Allen Show is presented in part by Generations Ford in Hurricane, part of the Eric J. Tarr family of business.
What if the market drops after you retire? What if healthcare costs continue to rise? What if you outlive your savings? If these questions keep you up at night, you're not alone, and you don't have to figure it out alone. I'm John Burdett with 4th Avenue Financial, and I specialize in retirement income planning. Let's turn your what-ifs into a plan you can count on. Schedule your free consultation today at 4thavenuefinancial.com. 4th Avenue Financial, retirement done right.
Securities offered through Jenny McCole Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Jenny McCole Advisors Incorporated.
According to Feeding America, over 7 million seniors nationwide were food insecure in 2022. West Virginia is no different. Hi, I'm Jason, President and CEO of Union Mission Ministries. For 113 years, Union Mission has focused on helping people in need. Right now, our senior citizens need our help. That is why Union Mission is partnering with local senior living facilities to get food delivered directly to those in need. Will you help us reach more seniors? Visit unionmission.com to learn more.
Your Putnam County Assessor's Office is mandated to ensure your real estate is evaluated properly and fairly. This year, their field personnel will be in the Winfield town first, and then move to Scott District to revisit homeowners. Plus, new construction in the county will be assessed. They will be in marked vehicles and will have photo ID and business cards. If you have any questions about this process, visit their website at putnamcoassessor.com. That's putnamcoassessor.com.
Together.
Welcome back to the show. It's 9:43. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Line, brought to you by the all-new Generations Ford of Hurricane. Visit generationsford.com. Again, our flood drive, flood relief efforts going on our parking lot, 1111 Virginia Street East in Charleston, and we will be out there until 6 o'clock tonight. Kanawha County Commission President Ben Salango joins us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And I want to get away from county commission stuff for just a moment and say thank you very much. The Salango Law Firm just dropped off a check for $1,000 here.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I will take care of that. Make sure it gets in the right hands.
When we had the massive flooding in Elkview 10 years ago, people from all over the state, all over the country, quite frankly, pitched in to help. So it's good that people here are pitching in to help our friends up in Upshur
and all those areas up there. You just can't, again, I've known Robbie Skinner. I don't know whether you know Robbie.
Oh, very well, yeah.
Mayor of McCannon. Mm-hmm. He and I go back way. He'll be back on the show again today, and just talking to him. And, you know, Robbie is one of those guys that, Ben, is always upbeat, always got a smile on his face. You could just hear it the other night when I was talking to him, and he's like, Dave, this is bad.
Yeah.
This is bad.
And I've reached out to Robbie, and we sent several Kanawha County deputies up a few days ago to help out, and I'll let Robbie know that everybody in Kanawha County's behind them and anything they need.
And you know, there's Buchanan, there's Weston, and then we kind of forget. I was talking to Stephen Allen Adams yesterday, that area around St. Mary's and some of those, and crossing the border over into Ohio, those folks got tornadoes there, and it's, you know, there's a lot of damage there as well. So we don't want to forget about those people as well.
Yeah, it's fairly widespread over there. So we're trying to help as many people as we can, but I appreciate you guys doing the flood drive, getting the supplies up to them. That's, very important.
Well, I mean, we have the idea, but it's the listeners that come up with the stuff. It's listeners and people like you and Harvey Payton and Jay Goldman hooked us up with some money yesterday. So
good.
Appreciate all that. All right. So last night, County Commission meeting, you and Commissioner Natalie Tennant could not come to an agreement on the replacement for Lance Wheeler. And, of course, you know Lance Wheeler's story. He's resigned the remainder of his tenure to head up the Ambulance Service Authority. Your comment?
Commissioner Tennant and I met, and I wasn't sure how the vote would go last night. I wasn't sure if she would vote for Jared or not. But, when I was looking at the applicants, and we had a lot of qualified folks, I think 6 or 7 submitted. There were 5 that were qualified, legally qualified to serve. And you go through the applications and the resumes and the letters of recommendation. In fact, Jared Page had, I think last night I said 22. There was actually 23 letters of recommendation from mayors and U.S. senators and law enforcement and firefighters. And the other applicants didn't have a single letter of recommendation. So, I thought it was pretty clear. The Republican voters had spoken in the primary. They elected Jared Page they've selected him as the Republican nominee. The Republican Executive Committee, the County Executive Committee, sent us a letter indicating they wanted Jared appointed. The state Republican Party sent a letter indicating they wanted Jared appointed. And Treasurer Larry Pack sent a letter. Shelley Moore Capito sent a letter. I mean, there were lots and lots of support for Jared. So that's why I made the motion. And Jared was the only candidate of the 5 that had any government experience whatsoever. Jared, of course, is vice mayor of St. Albans. He was municipal judge. He's on city council. So he has a lot of government experience. I know that he's worked with the legislature a lot. So it was, to me, it was a pretty clear choice. Now, I've yet to find a person in the world that agrees with me 100% of the time. Mm-hmm. My wife and I have been married 25 years, and we're in agreement like 75% of the time.
That's pretty high for most married couples.
And for the 25% that we're not in agreement, she will tell you that I'm always wrong. So, it's not unusual for people to have disagreements. I mean, I'm saying we're disagreeing. We just did not agree on that particular issue. Right. But, Commissioner Tennant and I agree on most of the issues, thankfully, and we're going to have to agree over the next 30 days because we do not have a third commissioner. So my hope is when we come back, we've asked the Republican Executive Committee to send us 3 names.
And again, it has to be a Republican and it has to be from that district.
Yes, districts 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That's the way this works. So Republican districts 3 or 4, and they have to have been registered as a Republican for at least a year. So you can't go switch your party registration and move to district 3 or 4 and expect to get the appointment because it's not going to happen. But the way that works is then they will send us 3 names by August 15th. We have a meeting on August 27th. We're going to allow each of the 3 candidates to speak for 2 to 3 minutes.
Basically saying why they're feel they're the best candidate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we will, because we may not know any of the 3 people that they submit. It could be anyone. So as long as they're qualified, it could be, they don't even have to submit resumes or anything. It's just a name.
It's just a name. Yeah.
So I want to be able to at least know their background, and hopefully we'll know all 3, but perhaps we won't. And then we will, we'll do public strikes. You know, the way that the statute is now worded, the one who has the most tenure on the commission has to strike first, and that's me, and then Commissioner Tennant will strike second, and whoever's left is your next Kanawha County Commissioner.
Were you surprised that that you and Commissioner Tennant could not agree on this, or
I was? No, I wasn't surprised, but I will tell you that I understand why she did what she did. Of course, she applied for the vacancy back in 2024 when Commissioner Carper resigned abruptly, and she wasn't selected. Now, I've come on this show before, and I came on this show back in May of 24, and I will say it again. I supported her. I wanted her to be the Democratic appointment. She was the nominee. It was obvious to me. She had 8 years as Secretary of State, tons of governmental experience. She was, to me, a very qualified candidate, and also she was selected by the Democratic voters. So I have been very consistent. Now, what happened then was we couldn't reach an agreement. And what I did differently back in 24 that I'm not doing now, and quite frankly, I probably should have done this in 24 too, but, you know, the commission had been through a lot.
Yeah, at that time.
You know, we were under tons of scrutiny. We were getting served with subpoenas from the U.S. Department of Justice, and, you know, the staff was rattled. So we needed some calm at the commission, and that calm was Mark Slotnick. So Commissioner Wheeler and I agreed that if we're not going to agree on Natalie, that we could agree on Mark Slotnick, and Mark Slotnick was an excellent, excellent choice to get through the interim. In fact, you know, back in 2017 when I applied, Mark Slotnick also applied then. And, you know, there were like 13 people that applied, and the commission picked me, Hoppy and Kent, and Mark even, you know, he tried to apply back then, but Mark has been with the county commission forever, and that's why we selected him. And it was a good, steady choice, and it was good for the staff. You know, as difficult as that period was on the commissioners, it was more difficult on the staff because it was just so uncertain. So that's why I did what I did back in 2024. Now, you fast forward, then Chuck Miller, wonderful attorney, our prosecuting attorney. He was actually served as U.S. attorney for a long time. Mm-hmm. He decided to retire. Essentially the same situation. We had a Republican nominee, which was Deb Rusnick. She had just won that election. She was going up into the general against the Democratic nominee, and we unanimously selected Deb. So to me, I thought at least I have been very consistent on who should get that appointment. If there's a vacancy after, and I'll say this because Lord only knows what will happen in 28 or 30 or 32 or whatever. If there's a vacancy after an election, I think it should go to the nominee. That's just my thought. And not to mention, Jared was by far the most qualified of the folks that had submitted applications last night.
And I want to point out that you are a Democrat.
I'm a Democrat.
And Jared Page is a Republican. So This is not really a partisan thing. You and Natalie Tennant are both Democrats.
To me, it's not partisan. I do not think the county commission should be a partisan body. It can be sometimes, but typically it's not. I don't care if it doesn't matter to me if it's a Republican idea, Democratic nominee. I only care if it's a good idea, and I want to make sure that we're moving forward. So, unfortunately, we had a small setback last night, but we'll see what happens on August 27. The good news is the voters get to decide who they want their next commissioner to be in November.
Okay.
You know, we have two. Jared Page is running on the Republican side.
Yeah, and he won the primary. He does have opposition to the general.
He does. Paul Monroe, great guy. Mm-hmm. I know Paul. But the voters get to decide. And so I understand that perhaps there was a concern about giving Jared an unfair advantage in the general. Perhaps that was, one concern. But as I pointed out last time I was on the show, it's not an advantage. In fact, I think the majority of people who receive appointments lose the next election.
Okay, I'm not going to take a break, but I want you to follow up on that point when we come back. Hang out with me here 1 second. 9:53. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Line brought to you in part by Huston's Pizza. The July special, buy any regularly priced large 18-inch pizza and get a 2-liter bottle of any Pepsi product free. Check out your nearest Huston's for delivery, pickup, or dine-in at HustonsPizza.com. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you looking for a technical job in the medical field? Generations is growing and looking to add on job-trained physical therapy techs to our rehab team. To apply, visit one of our 7 convenient locations or simply click on us at generationspt.com.
Do you want to see your doctor when you make an appointment? Then you should see Dr. William Harris, an old-fashioned doctor who has the latest medical knowledge and expertise in diagnosis and treatment. Dr. Harris is boarded in family medicine and has added certification in geriatrics, a rarity these days. Dr. Harris is located at the CAMC Medical Building at 3100 McCorkle Avenue Southeast, Suite 307. Call 304-344-2451 to schedule an appointment to see your doctor every time you visit.
They say roads are made for journeys, not destinations. And now that I'm retired, I make a point to journey as much as I can. But when night driving became a challenge, my son and I decided it was time for a doctor's visit to ensure my safety behind the wheel. I was worried, but instead of restrictions, we discussed solutions to make sure I can continue on my journeys.
Aging can alter how we drive. Take charge of your safety and independence by evaluating your driving skills regularly. Learn more at StaySafeWV.com. This message is brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Having issues with your home like wet basements, water in your crawl space, bowing or leaning walls, or foundation cracks? You need Foster Construction, your foundation repair experts. Locally owned and operated, Foster Construction offers free inspections and estimates and has a licensed professional engineer on staff. Their services include basement and crawl space waterproofing, foundation repair, and retaining walls. Call 304-776-6263 and get started today. Online at fosterconstructionwv.com. Foster Construction. They'll fix it right the first time.
You may think speeding a little isn't really speeding, but even a few miles over the limit has consequences. First, there's the fine. Your first offense could cost you $100 plus court costs, and you'll pay a lot more if it's your second or third offense. Eventually, you can lose your license or even go to jail. And those are minor consequences. Speeding causes 10,000 deaths each year. So next time you think a few miles over isn't a big deal, think again. This message is brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Welcome back to the show. It is 6 minutes away from 10. Get ready to talk Mountaineer football and go inside the huddle with Tony Caridi August 6th at the Willow Event Center, 1706 Greenbrier Street in Charleston, near Capitol High. Doors open at 5:30. Hotline with Weekly and Coop will be broadcasting live from there. Tailgate food, silent and live auctions. Chance to appear on a broadcast with Tony and more. Ticket packages available for individuals, groups, and corporate sponsors. And every dollar raised benefits United Way of Central West Virginia. Tickets and information available, UnitedWayCWV.org. Brought to you by United Bank in conjunction with WCHS and the Charleston Gazette-Mail. Kanawha County Commission President Ben Salango is here now. Text says, Ben, you're part of a dying breed of Democrat now with the radicals quickly taking over. You sound more independent, actually. I'm a former Democrat myself. Says the texter.
Well, I think there are radicals on both sides, and I think that the 15% on each side is what folks pay attention to, and then there's the 70% of all the rest of us, right? Mm-hmm. And we're just we just want to do the right thing. We want to just move forward, do the right thing, and have no issues. But unfortunately, we get I think a lot of things are sidetracked and by the side shows.
Mm-hmm. It happens. And by the way, I do want to say I have Commission President Salango on the show now. Commissioner Tennant has been on the show. I mean, she guest hosted for me at one point. Anytime, yeah. When I was on vacation, she guest hosted for me one day. But she's more than welcome to come on the show at any time. So Natalie, if you're just reach out, you're more than welcome to come on the show anytime that you want. You want as well. I just actually had you already scheduled today. Mm-hmm. Anyway. So are you hopeful? Because between now, how many meetings do you have between now and that one?
Just one. So we have one in early August and then one on August 27th. I was thinking about if we could do it in the first meeting in August, but there's a statute that we have to follow. Right, so we have to give the executive committee enough time to meet, or if their chair is going to pick it, that's up to them, their bylaws. They get to select the names. And then I didn't think we'd have enough time to do that in time for our August 6th meeting. So we've asked them to submit the names by August 15th, and those will be public. We'll turn over we'll make sure that we publish the letter that they send us with the names on it, and then we will come in on August 27th and do our strikes. Now, that doesn't mean that, first of all, it doesn't even mean Jared's going to be on the list, right?
Mm-hmm.
I presume he will, since I got a letter from the Republican Executive Committee asking us to appoint him. But it could be 3 other names, or there, even if Jared's on the list, maybe he is not stricken and he serves, or maybe I have a change. Who knows? I mean, anything can happen between now and then.
Right.
But
now, obviously, you're not allowed. I mean, I would think you can't, because number one, you and Natalie Tennant are both Democrats, so
right.
I don't think you would be contacting the Republican and saying, "Hey, we want this person or that person." I mean, I guess you could.
I talk to Republicans all the time.
Well, I know. I understand. I'm just saying, but there's not going to be. You're just going to have to play the wait and see game, right?
This is their decision.
Okay.
They get to pick it, and I'm not going to try to influence it. They get to send me and Natalie whoever they want to send, and it'll be 3 names, and I'm not going to interfere with that process. To me, the Republican voters spoke in the primary in Kanawha County. They said who they want. And I assume that Jared will be on the list, but that doesn't mean he will be. And they can send us whoever they want.
All right.
One of them will be a commissioner.
All right. For a while anyway.
Right.
And we'll see what happens after that. Because, all right. Kanawha County Commission President Ben Salango, have a great weekend.
You too.
And on behalf of the Salango Law Firm, we appreciate the donation for our flood relief as well.
You're welcome.
All right, Metro News Midday coming up later today with Amanda Barron and myself, 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron. Of course, we will continue to our flood coverage. Mayor of Buchanan, Robbie Skinner, will be on the show with us today as well. We are going to get away from some of the flood coverage for some Friday fun because we have Daniel Woods coming in with the Sports Blitz as well. On this show on Monday, Danny Jones is here and author Tony Hodge coming up on Monday's show. We'll see you then. Until then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS AM 96.5 FM Charleston and 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.